And so, like, on the subject of Trump rallies, here's a photograph of a Trump rally in Acola, which I believe is in Florida, as it says from the geotag down here. And I just want to analyze this. So Trump has been diagnosed with and went to the hospital with coronavirus 19, right? And he came out there a couple days later saying, "Don't be afraid of it, folks. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't let it dominate your lives." And now, as a result, a week later, a week and a half later, look at this image. It's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, right? It's hot as hell. And you have these people packed like fucking cattle at a fucking factory farm trying to get their little wave in at the president. Maybe the president will wave at me. Maybe the president will smile at me and wave. Maybe, just maybe, the president's glistening sweat droplets will hit my eyeball and will cause me to blink as I feel the bliss from the president's presence approaching my soul. Right? Like, again, these people are ridiculous. These people are still willing to kill themselves and their family just to see the president step off of an airplane or something. What is going on here? I don't know. Is this a rally or is this, I don't know. It kind of looks like an airport, but there's something going on here, right? It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Pioneer in the chat room, his supporters must also be ridiculed and humiliated. They must take their walk of shame. I absolutely agree with that. But, Pioneer, they must take a walk of shame. They must realize why they were wrong. And we also need to hold them accountable and give them a path of rehabilitation. That is key here. We cannot have 40% of Americans, right, take their walk of shame and go into like a 4chan page and start arming up and plotting terrorist attacks. We cannot let that happen. We need to let these people know that it is okay to not want to kill transgender people. It is okay to not want to kill homosexual people. It is okay not to want to kill children. It is okay not to want to kill elderly. You are allowed to live in society without wanting to infect people with a deadly disease. That's okay. In fact, that's not only is that okay, but it should be embraced. We need to let them know that it's okay when gay people get married, that it doesn't hurt them in any capacity. It's okay when a woman that they've never spoken to gets an abortion for medical reasons. That's okay. They need to know that. These people need to know that because we cannot have a functioning country. We cannot have a functioning population on the planet if we have 30-ish% of the population that wants to kill everyone else. That's not going to make things easy. So yes, they need to take a walk of shame. Yes, these people need to be ridiculed, but they need to know that there is a way out for them. They need to know that there is a way that they can turn the other cheek and they can be a better person. That is key here. In this atomized culture where a lot of these people are probably, because of the pandemic, not going to be able to go outside as much as they would like to, they're going to be stuck online. We need to make sure that they don't find their way onto 4chan, 8chan, Kiwi Farms, Stormfront, right? These other far-right websites where people congregate. We need to make sure that they don't get stuck in right-wing Facebook groups. We need to make sure that they're okay. We need to make sure that they're taken care of. Because, yes, I don't like fascists. I don't like fascism. But to say that all of Trump supporters are fascists, that's just not true. They might be racist. They might be okay with fascism. They might be okay with racism. They might be okay with killing transgender people. And that's what we need to work at. We need to tell them why those are not reasonable sacrifices. But again, look at this, right? You see a sea, an ocean of cringe. Maskless morons waiting to worship their God Emperor Donald Trump. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And yes, a lot of these people, they're going to take care of themselves. They're going out here in Florida, of all states. They're going out here in Florida, of all states. These people are a lot in case they're going to take care of themselves. But we need to make sure that the ones that are left behind they have a route that does not include fascism. That there needs to be an option there. But again, the president out there is doing his infomercials that would be banned under like FCC regulations, but he's the president, so he's allowed to get up there and say, yeah, you know that treatment I got? Well, your insurance doesn't cover that, but we have the best healthcare. So go out there, don't let COVID dominate your lives. Get fucking virused. Have fun with it, buddy. Thank you for your vote. Be sure to mail in your ballot before you get hospitalized. That's the Trump campaign in a nutshell. And that needs to be roundly condemned. Absolutely needs to be roundly condemned. Skeptical Mantis says, we're not going to convince reactionaries that we're okay if there's no offer of substantial change to make all of our lives better. Democrats will offer nothing. Of course. Of course. This is not reliance on the Democrat Party. This is reliance on us as a population, us as a species. We need to be aware of each other. We need to help each other. We need to be like willing to help each other. That's why I am open to all these debates. That's why you see me talk to these far right wingers on my channel. Like, that's why I'm willing to have conversations with people that want to murder me. Like, people that openly come into my chat room and advocate for me to die and to be murdered. I am willing to have a conversation with them because that will humanize me to them a little bit. A little bit. And that's okay with me. If I can spend an hour of my time humanizing myself to someone, and maybe it's ineffectual, but maybe 7 years from now, they'll realize, wait a second, I spoke to a trans person. They're not all evil Satan worshippers that want to kill my children, right? Because that's how they get convinced. That's how these people get convinced. They get convinced that gay people are going to come and snatch up their kids, and that's why we need to kill gay people, right? That you need to understand that through line, and that's super important. Skeptical Manta says, Biden is fascist. His crime bill waged war in our communities. Democrats waged war against the world's oppressed majority. That's not incorrect. I wouldn't say Biden is personally a fascist. I would say Trump is personally a fascist. Biden is just a really bad person. But I wouldn't say he aspires to be the king of the world of a white race or anything. He's just a really bad and dumb person that gets used by people that want to do that. Absolutely. But at the same time, we have to understand your analysis, and I'm not trying to, shit on you, Skeptical Mantis. Your analysis of we must always hate the Democrat Party above all else is not going to solve the crisis that we're in. We need to hate the Democrat Party, absolutely, but that cannot be our only criticism. That cannot be our only beat. That we need to come up with alternatives. And that's very important. That's very important. So, yes, that's my thoughts on Donald Trump supporters.